Welcome back to the channel. Came in from work this evening. I figured I'd do a quick little video, a little historical summary to the best of my very limited knowledge of this 3/8 drive Craftsman BE. Early 30s, there was two made in a similar style. The B is the earlier of the two. The other was a Circle H Husky, was the OEM of it. And this one is the harder one to find in my area. It's the harder one to find compared to the H. The H, however, I think is kind of funny because sometimes on the back of the faceplate here you can see Husky engraved in it. I've never personally have seen it. Seen people post about it, heard people talk about it. I think that's kind of funny. This OEM was New Britain, I believe, which eventually bought Husky, so that's kind of ironic, I believe. I'm not sure they were in cahoots then. Somebody would like to comment to clarify if they were or were not. That would be great. The faceplate is pretty thick for what it is. I mean, it's very well built. I mean, to be nearly 100 years old. I mean, you're talking mid-30s, 33, 34, I believe, give or take a year or two. They both had the same switch. I find this switch kind of funny because it flips back and forth, and you see that the little ball bearing is there, and that's what engages it back and forth onto the main gear. And I'm not sure if that was gimmicky for this Ratchet and these OEMs, but I personally have not ever seen one like it. Very low gear tooth count, very small gear, in fact. Let's see if I can get it to focus. The wear on it is not bad, so I don't think that this was, you can see a little wear here and there, but I don't think it was necessarily abused to the point of something like your V series or your newer, Craftsman styles. To be Depression era, and considering what was going on through the times, it's a very well built Ratchet. I try not to use it for obvious reasons. It's more of a centerpiece of my Craftsman Ratchet timeline. I do not believe that all the screws are original. There's a Phillips and a flat, in my opinion, two of the worst screw designs ever. That's just how it was when I got it. If anybody's got I think it was another flat. If anybody's got one, I could be wrong. It could be just the way it is, but I think it's fine. It's not detrimental. It's not changing the design. I mean, it holds this cover plate on. It actually holds the paw in place too, because you see it goes through that. And another thing about this paw, let me see if I can get it. You can see that that where the gear is cross-shaped, almost like an L. You can see it better on this side. It's almost like an L, and that's your paw. And I feel like it wouldn't take too much torque, because obviously you have your paw way up here, but you have this long, thin piece bridging the gap between where the gear and the paw engages to the main switching function. I feel like that kind of negates any torque value onto that paw. I feel like that would be a point of weakness. But then again, ratchets, quote unquote, are meant to run bolts out and run bolts in, not final torquing. Any mechanic, DIY home guy will totally let's throw a pipe on it and call it a day. You know, like, everybody's probably done that at least once or twice, or final torque the bolt with the ratchet. You know, I mean, that's just common. It's very prevalent, you know. But all in all, you know, almost 100 years, very well built. You can see the knurling. Some of them I have heard and seen some with the amber handle here, like a plastic coating. Not sure if it was standard on all of them. Some of them, because they were knurled underneath it, so I'm not sure if this one was supposed to have one or not. I have no idea, and I don't know how to trace that, but you see, very plain, made in USA, forged. I mean, when I think of a Craftsman ratchet, obviously I think of the old, this is the Danaher design from probably the butterfly selector all the way up to, I think they were still making them last year before from overseas. So the old 36 tooth, I believe, that's what I envision a Craftsman ratchet. But this was what built Craftsman up. And then you get in after this design, I believe there was one or two in between that and the plum. Could be wrong. I'd have to do a little more research on that. And then after you get out of the plum, you get into which was the 40s, you get into the 50s and the time of the round heads, and then the infamous butterfly selector switch, the V series. I have a couple of those in the house. Hope to do a video on it. It's pretty basic compared to all the other 36 tooths. It's just the nostalgia behind that ratchet, you know, and I feel like the nostalgia behind that ratchet kind of overshadows this one, but this was the original. This was what built America in a time, in my opinion, where we were pretty low. I mean, the Depression, you know, right before the war, you know, people still had to work. People still had to find ways to work. And I feel like at some point in time, this might have put food on the table for somebody's family that, you know, otherwise I might not have had a chance to, you know. And totally if this Ratchet could speak, you know, what kind of stories, you know, would it have? I sat 50 years in a toolbox before my, you know, the grandkids found me, you know. But very interesting design. Like I said, this is the earlier of the two of the same design, the BE and the Circle H. And yeah, I just feel like the craftsmanship on it, very rudimentary, but obviously I have changed my oil in it, in the car with this one time, just to, I guess, put it back in service. You know, it had been long enough. I had the means to fix it if anything went haywire. You know, I broke the bolt loose and broke my oil drain plug loose, and then ratcheted it out with this. So not really a whole lot of torque going on, but just the nostalgia of it, you know. And works great. You know, I feel like if I was in a pinch and needed a ratchet and this is all I had on hand, I could get it done. It would probably be hard with very little teeth and kind of a very loosey-goosey paw and gear design. But it'll get it done. I appreciate it. If I know that I've talked to some of the guys in my Facebook group on ratchets specifically like these Craftsman, and if I misspoke or led something that isn't quite necessarily true, if you don't mind pointing it out in the comments, letting me know, correcting me, whatever the case may be. You know, I'm all for that. I don't want to lead anybody down the rabbit hole that isn't necessarily true. I try to stay up to date on just about everything Craftsman, so hopefully I'm not too far out of the realm of being right. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Just something quick. I'm gonna try working on some different background noises. I know the cars are kind of loud up the road, and you know, just I'm kind of in between things right now, trying to figure out what I need to do to further this, as well as make time to do this. So you guys bear with me. If there's anything that you guys would like to see, or that maybe that I could do better, please let me know. Reach out. But I appreciate it if you made it to the end of this video.